What's up, guys? Welcome to Recharge TV. My name is Brandon, otherwise known as TheAppUniverse. I am joined with BrizzleMcFizzle and YumaRanken. Say hello.
Hey!
Hello.
I'm waiting for the Brizzle hey before my hey.
You're fine. We all stream here on Mobcrush. We're all partnered streamers. We are interviewing Tsuro. Thunderbox is the developers. We have Dan and Jules in here. You can only see Dan. You can only see Dan's pretty face, but Jules might pop in. So Tsuro is a turn-based board game that got turned into an app and is super fun, and I've been playing the heck out of it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it as well.
It's awesome.
Voices are low, so I have to fix this so everybody can hear. We're going to do some giveaways soon. Do you want to do it now, Brizzle?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go ahead.
Let's
Let's
do
talk
it.
about what the game is, what we're giving away. We're giving away a game. It's called Tsuro. I think it's available in the App Store, not Google Play yet, though, right?
Google Play soon.
Google
How
Play
soon?
Very, very soon.
Very,
So-
very soon.
For you to win, please only spam in the chat room if you have the App Store and not Google Play. So I want to see you guys spamming Tsuro like this. And so Brizzle's face though, don't make fun of me. So anyway, we're going to do two giveaways. So the first one we're gonna be giving away one free download of Tsuro, and that means you guys can play with us. So that's pretty cool. So if you guys want a free game download, go ahead and start spamming it, just like
If you
Yuma.
already have it.
Yeah, spam Tsuro.
Yeah, spam it. I don't want to win it. Just keep doing it.
The game costs $4.99, so it is a good giveaway to get.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I feel like you get all of your $4.99 worth. Personally, that's just me.
Totally.
That's just me, though.
Strategic. So Yoshi, we actually asked them to spam. So you don't have to ban them if they spam this time around. But yes.
Okay, here we go. I'm doing it. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, it's gonna be. Hold on. Oh my gosh, the suspense. Photos. This is so high tech, guys. This is the
Yep.
most high tech giveaway on the entire planet.
Especially since your camera's broken on screen.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Still?
it's
What
pretty
is
awesome.
this crap? I'm so ghetto. Whatever. It's
What is
fine.
that avatar? What is your profile picture?
It's a cheese head that I drew.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm a pretty talented artist, if you
Okay.
can't tell.
Yeah, for sure.
I have shading on the holes in the cheese that are realistic, and they
Mm.
represent the holes inside of my soul. It's pretty artwork that I have as my avatar.
I'm super impressed.
Okay,
by
so you
your
can't
skills.
see it, so whatever. You could say hashtag rigged all you want. Him Jeff won the free download. I'm gonna write it in the chat. Him
Oh,
Jeff.
did somebody win?
Yeah, somebody won. Him
Jeff,
Jeff won.
congratulations.
And I have to type it over and over again. Him. So go ahead and send us a message in Discord with your Apple iTunes ID.
Jim Jeff.
Yeah.
Jim Jeff. Him.
Yes.
Him Jim.
I'm gonna go ahead and post the download right now. Let's see. We've got a Discord, and you can join it to win your stuff. Okay, cool. Here we go. So let's go ahead and go and introduce you guys. So we know that you guys made this game. It was a board game, a cool board game, and you guys made it into an awesome app. So go ahead and tell us the history, how you guys came to make this game, the history of.
Well,
Thunderbox.
Calliope made the game, right?
Yeah.
And you
Yes.
guys turned it into an app.
Yeah. So what we do at Thunderbox is a bit like that scene in Tron, where Jeff Bridges gets zapped into a computer, except with less lasers in your back and more nice kind of board games on your iPad. So we actually made a demo about 2 years ago, and we sent it over to one of the managers, one of the directors of Calliope, or Calliope, as they like to call it. and we didn't hear back from them for 6 months. We just thought, oh yeah, whatever, this is not going to happen. We'll do something else. And then suddenly we got a message, hey, we love the app. Let's set up a conference call. Let's chat. And the rest, as they say, is history. So
you went out to make the app. Like, they didn't ask you to do it. You went out and you're like, I love this game so much, it needs to be an app. Is that what happened, basically?
Yeah. And apparently they keep getting approached by app developers at board game conventions.
Oh,
like,
really?
Oh, I want to make an app of your board game. And they're like, sorry, somebody's already doing it.
Yeah. Beat them to the punch.
That's awesome.
I mean, the team at Calliope are so amazing and have been incredibly supportive of it as well. So we flew out to Seattle to meet with Ray.
The big cheese.
Who's just the most wonderful human being. And after that, you know, we've kept up a really, really cool relationship with them. They've pretty much left us alone to do what we wanted to do, and you know, we check in on a very regular basis, and they've been super supportive of everything we've done.
Yeah, we send them a new version of the game every time we add something new to it, and they provide us with the feedback to make sure it's an authentic recreation.
That's pretty cool.
They've been super cool.
How old is Tsuro?
He's 10 years. It was his 10th anniversary last year,
and I have never heard about it.
Yeah. Well, it's
Really?
It's not a cult. It's the best board game you've never heard of. It's
I can agree with that.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And if you
I actually played it in board game night one time. It was awesome.
Hey, well, what I hope is if people like the app, then they'll get the board game as well, because it's a super fun party experience.
What is the cost of the board game?
The board game, I wouldn't be able to say with absolute authority, but I guess it's between $30 to $40 US.
I'm
Maybe
gonna Google it.
Around that.
Google it.
or
There's a link in the app. If you open the settings
Oh.
and click on the happy thumb and hit Get Real, it'll take you to Larky's webpage where you can
Oh my goodness.
That's one
Awesome.
of my favorite things about like what you guys did with it was like all the snarky language, and I could totally tell that it wasn't hard at all for you guys to come up with that. I was talking with you for like the past hour. You guys are hilarious.
That's
So like
awesome.
I hate to like interrupt, but I really want to know like where did you guys get like the inspiration for the different AI characters? So for those of you who don't know, you could start like a solo game or you could play with somebody else, but you can also have AI characters and you could choose from silly or clever and tricky. So what's behind that? What, number one, gave you the idea to make 3 different like AI characters, if you will, and then all the smack talk that they do behind that, where did that come from?
Yeah. So when we started making Tsuro, we wanted to create AI, but we didn't want to do the standard easy, medium, hard AI.
Yeah.
We wanted to create 3 AI with very unique personalities. So we're quite lucky. Like a friend of ours is one of the best video game AI designers in the industry, and she's worked on FIFA, Mass Effect, and Medal of Honor. And so we asked her. She said, "Well, how would you design the AI?" And she said, "Oh, I do like this actually." So basically, we took her cue for it, and we went away and did it. So the silly AI will just play so they don't die. Right?
Ah.
It's about how I play.
Yeah, not me, obviously.
Yeah, that's probably mine.
The clever AI will
Yeah.
try to win, and they'll adapt their strategy based on the game mode.
Okay.
The tricky AI, they're kind of like the jerk AI. So they will analyze twice as many moves as the other AI,
Oh.
play to win, and if you give them the slightest opportunity to take you off the board, they'll take you off the board straight away, and they'll actively maneuver themselves to take you off the board if they can.
Oh, that's
Like
not nice at
together,
all.
do they work together to destroy you?
No, they don't. They're not like velociraptors, unfortunately.
Okay. I was terrified for a second.
I'd be pleased if they did that. But yeah, so that and the smack talk. we kind of wanted to give them a bit of personality. So the silly AI, they're not really concentrating. They're thinking about macrame and puppies
Kitties.
and but the tricky AI, they're trying to take you down. And if you notice, the names of the AI are all based on famous robots.
Oh wow. Oh.
So you've got and depending on the sort of AI they are, it's what sort of robots. So the silly AI are all nice robots, and the tricky AI. Yeah.
So if I really want to impress my viewers with my skills, just play against all silly ones. And
when you start playing against all 7 AI, it becomes like the tricky AI. It is a complete bun fight.
So
it gets a little bit crazy.
Less than 3% of players can defeat 7 tricky AI, and I haven't been able to defeat 7 tricky AI.
Wow. And you made the game, so.
I didn't know there were famous robots. Like, where have I been all this time? We have robots and they're famous.
Famous robots like Kit from Knight Rider.
Yeah. Hal is one of them, right?
And Gladys.
That's GLaDOS.
GLaDOS.
I know that one. Way over my head.
GLaDOS does only get sued by Valve, which would be.
Don't want to get sued by Valve. We're a tiny, tiny little studio.
We do have an interesting question from Extreme Gamer. They're wondering what you're drinking.
I'm drinking Farnham's Lager. It's like a local Montreal brewery. A light blonde ale. Quite nice.
Awesome.
You're English.
Yes. I'm working very hard. It's the end of the day. It helps me right. Here we go. Yeah, Farnham's Ale and Lager.
Oh.
And the 27 on the can is the IBU, the International Bitterness Unit, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that there were so many different units.
That's fancy.
Bitterness.
Yeah,
That's very fancy beer.
That's the guy who owns the brewery in the little cheese shop at the market near our house. He was like, "Oh yeah, I own the brewery," and he was explaining it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I'll buy some more beer."
I think it's cool that you have a cheese shop. We don't have one of those.
Let alone a cheese shop with a brewery inside of it.
That's right there, cheese shop brewery.
Yeah, I think one of the things that really drew us to Montreal was the food, and Montreal has these really, really amazing farmers markets. And so when we go and do our groceries, we go to the fromagerie, and we go to the butcher, like the really cool butcher who always like jokes around with us.
Who tries to charge me $40 for a bundle of string?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's a lot for string.
No, he's like,
even I know that.
Yeah. So I mean, Montreal's pretty cool that way. Yeah. Even though it's very cold.
I believe it.
It's also very cold.
It's cool in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the literal sense of the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were playing Tsuro beforehand to like kind of practice and make sure we all were friends and such. And you mentioned that loops were your favorite game mode. There's 3 types of game modes. Can you explain those and then tell us? I want to know why loops is your favorite. What is the story behind it?
Okay. So there are 3 modes. There's the classic mode where you have to just stay on the board as long as possible. That's the main mode in the board game. Then there's longest path where you basically have to get the longest path. Pretty self-explanatory. But that would be impossible to do with a real board game unless you had a massive amount of string and really insane manual dexterity. And the other mode is loop mode. So what was super cool about that is that was actually suggested by Calliope, because fans of the game use it as an alternative way to play. So they score with the loops. And there are 2 reasons. Well, there are 2 reasons I like that. The first one is the sound effect. So when you hit the loop, it makes like it's a Tibetan singing bowl that you can hear, which was from an apartment in Lyon where Jules and I were staying on holiday.
Okay.
So because we had a really nice kind of synthesized kind of boom sound effect,
Yeah.
really expensive to buy the rights for. So
Okay, hang on real quick. I'm gonna get a loop so they can hear it.
boom, 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 and I put my phone inside the singing bowl to record it. And so and then.
All right, here's the loop. Here's the loop sound.
No. Yeah, so when I was recording it, Jules was like, "When you stop doing that, I'm trying to get to sleep. Stop knocking that singing bowl." She was playing Tsuro, and she goes, "I really like loops mode. I find the sound very pleasing."
Oh man.
That bowl from that room in Lyon. And she's like, "No."
Yeah.
So yeah.
You gave Jules a loop too.
Yeah.
Traitor.
Oh man, I wasn't even paying attention.
Oh, wait,
right,
is it my go? Is it my go?
yeah. So
Oh, I'm already dead.
Wow, you're so pro.
Ranting forever.
Pro. I'm the best.
I didn't. I was focusing on the interview. I wasn't ready for the game.
Yeah, that's my excuse earlier. I was copying and pasting things.
I can't believe I gave you a loop. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good looking.
Noob.
I was just. Well, I was trying to. Man.
See, one of the things I thought was really interesting about the game was the art style that you guys chose. Like, you see a lot of apps in the App Store that are really cartoony or really bright and colorful, and you guys kind of went the opposite approach and did like a really realistic board game. Like, it looks like you're actually playing a board game. Like, even the
That's actually
angle
what
that
this
you're
board
looking
game
at
looks
it.
like, too.
Yeah, but like it looks like, because it's not perfectly top down, you know, it's kind of like skewed, and you're looking at it from an angle. What was your, like, why did you guys make that choice to design the game like this instead of, you know, other more abstract ways, I suppose?
There's a couple of good reasons actually. So the first one is that the artwork of Tsuro is really, really nice. They've done such a great job, and there's a really deliberate tactility to the way that the actual real board game is made. So like the tiles are really chunky, and the stones feel really good in your hand. And one of the things we really wanted to do is leverage the fact that you're playing on a device with a touch screen, right? And you can't get the same kind of immersion that you get in a big AAA console game, like surround sound and high def graphics,
right,
controllers and stuff like that. But what you can do on a tablet is do something like that we call virtual presence. So games like The Room do this really, really well.
I love that game.
It's a really good game.
The Room series is fantastic. So they basically have taken a key from a Finnish designer called Thomas Grip, who I met at GT, who he's crazy. He makes like these insane horror video games. But he's an absolute genius and a really nice guy. And he did this fantastic speech about presence in a virtual environment. So when you actually touch things to move them, it creates a connection between you in the real world and the actual virtual items. So you feel like you're really playing the video game. So that's why we didn't want to go for like the more standard 2D implementation where it would just feel like you were moving pictures under a piece of glass. We wanted to make you actually in this virtual world with a board game in front of it.
Yeah. I feel that way. Like when I play with you guys on stream the other day, and even just before now, like it feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like in the same room with people, but it feels like it's kind of like the closest thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're over.
Well, it plays really well too with people who are in the same room with you, because like I said, me and Autumn play it all the time together, and it works so well on the same device too. So.
Who wins more?
Oh, Autumn beats me like every time.
You can mix real AI in pass and play, and also I just got 2 loops.
Oh, you would.
What?
See, you've got to go for the long game.
Yeah, but see, I don't think it counts that you got 2 loops. You made the game.
Dark side.
You made the game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, if I made the game, I could say I got 100 loops and no one would care.
Yeah, that is true. But that's the other nice thing about Tsuro. So because there's a random element to the tiles, kind of evens the playing field between people who are really good at it and people who have only just started to play it.
Okay, here, I have a really good move right now. It's amazing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I just killed 2 developers at the same time. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Oh my gosh. So you were talking earlier about there being certain colors of tiles that people tend to gravitate to, like
Hmm.
blue is the most popular. What
Blue's mine.
color tiles do you pick?
Oh, the tiles or the stones?
Stones, excuse me.
So
bad.
well, I can answer both of those actually. I like the orange stone.
Oh.
Brandon took me out. Better luck next time. Oh,
Sorry, guys.
Oh,
a shame.
it's okay.
Yeah, no. So I like the orange stone because he makes like I find the kind of fiery color of the petralia leaves kind of pleasing. But have you got a favorite, Jules?
I actually quite like the blue as well, but the silver.
Oh.
It's a little bit easier to see. You can follow it.
No.
And sometimes when I'm feeling dark, you'd like to use the black stone.
You're so dark.
The black one has a cool effect on it, though.
Like my soul.
Tile-wise, like there are two specific tiles that are interesting. The tile that I hate
Yeah.
is the one that has a loop point in the direct center of the tile with 4 paths going through it.
See, I love that one.
No, I know, but it's the only tile with a loop that you can cross more than once, which means that tile had to have a totally different code on it to all the other tiles, and it baffles the AI.
So you don't like it because the AI doesn't like
No,
it?
it was like there was just this one tile. It's like, oh, I have to code extra stuff for this one tile.
Man, doing extra work is awful.
It is the worst.
One tile, all the other tiles fine, but there's one tile where it didn't. Oh. And then my favorite tile is the tile known as the Boba Pants tile, which if you finish a game on this tile, you get an achievement, and it's called the Boba Pants tile because it either looks like Boba Fett looking in through a window,
What?
or a pair of.
Is that tile on the board right now?
I'm looking. I don't see it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If you'll know it when you see it, you'll be like, oh my god, it is Boba Fett or a pair of
Boba Fett or what?
a pair of underpants.
Clearly.
I have a bit of a Boba fetish. So
Boba fetish.
so I love that tile as well. That's
She
a good
has-
tile.
Oh, man.
That's
No.
hilarious.
No.
I'm trying to see if any of mine look like underpants.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
How have I never noticed something like
Still a
that?
couple of tiles.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so now here's a question that I really want to know the answer to. Like the game, I remember when Brandon was like, "Hey, okay guys, we're gonna play this game. It looks really complicated. Just kidding. It's really easy and hard at the same time." But what I've noticed is that it brings out the worst in me. Like it turns me into a terrible human being, and I curse at people when I don't normally prefer to. So, what is it about this game that turns you into an animal exactly?
We were talking about this earlier. Dan and I sometimes will actually trash talk each other whilst playing Tsuro.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna call this cute aggression. There was some done, I think in November 2014 or something, and the researchers coined this new term called cute aggression. It's like when
this
you
is the baby eating thing, isn't
yeah,
it? Oh,
it's
so
like when you
strange.
see something like a really cute baby or a really cute
Yeah.
dog, like you actually physically want to crush it and eat it.
That's exactly how I
know,
feel.
She's weird.
Yeah. But
Oh my gosh, I just got like 7 loops.
What?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
I hate you, Brandon. I hate
Oh.
you.
So basically, it's just when you see something that's so awesome, it makes your head want to explode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cute aggression.
Oh my goodness.
There was a Key and Peele about that. Do you guys watch Key and Peele?
No.
No.
There's a sketch that they do about that where they talk about like wanting to get a dog. Like I just want to pinch its cheeks in and I want to crush it beneath. Like they go really far.
Yeah.
But it's basically the exact concept. Like they do that. They make fun of that.
Well, we were
Well, it's a thing.
having dinner with some friends on Saturday night, and this topic of conversation came up.
Mhm.
And there was 4 of us who were all in the same, cute camp, the cute aggression camp. We all suffered from it. And Dan and one of our other friends were just looking at us like we were quite mad.
Yeah, you're crazy
But
cannibal
it's
weirdos.
yeah, it's not. Like it's sometimes like I see, you know, I have a thing about bulldogs. I love bulldogs. Like I absolutely cannot I cannot function when I see a bulldog. And this phrase, it's like I just want to stick a fork in it.
Wow.
Like it's yeah.
So if you've got a bulldog and you see an adorable little lady with pink curly hair coming towards you with a fork,
Yeah.
Run away.
just make it quick.
Well, I wouldn't normally, but it's that thing. It's like your brain cannot handle it.
Oh wait, I can see the Boba Pants tile on the board.
Oh
Is
man.
it the one that I'm sitting on?
It is. It is.
Oh.
You won't. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell with the lines on it. It's the top
That's
left.
right.
It's in the top left quadrant.
Top left.
And it's
Yeah, I
got
don't
a
see it.
green and a bit of yellow on it.
Green
have to
and a bit of
see it.
yellow.
It's easier to tell when it's clean.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Brandon.
Man.
Oh no.
Bye, Brandon.
There's only one person left.
Yeah, and I didn't have any tiles to make
Nice.
any more loops.
Yeah.
That's the annoying tile.
I have a question really
ahead.
quick. Lone Star asks, is there a time limit to make a move? No, there is not. But my question is there a reason why there isn't with something that's online? Is there a reason that you guys aren't enforcing that?
So we find that when we tried it, I was worried that it would become really boring if you leave it for days and days and days in between moves. But I found that the longer I left it between moves, the more intense every move got. And you got to the end of the game, you're like, oh my god, I've been playing this game for 2 months. And also there are a couple of options that you can use in the game to kind of get around this. So if you have a move that's been if you've been waiting for a move for more than 24 hours, you can swipe the little slider out, and you can either send your friend a poke message, tell him to get a wiggle on, or you can turn the game into a phantom game, which will hide it from your list until somebody else makes a move.
Oh, that's cool.
I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But one of
There was another question.
Oh, yeah.
Are there going to be new backgrounds or board colors in the future?
Probably not. Although there is another version of Tsuro called Tsuro of the Seas,
Oh.
which has gigantic sea beasts in it.
What?
So,
That's cool.
Sea beast?
so if things go well with Tsuro, there may or may not be a sequel. We should see.
Would it be an add-on or would it be an additional game?
Additional game.
Yeah. Because it is. I think it is. There are some different different moves to it as well. So it's there's a couple of different rules and everything. So it is in a sense a different game.
So here's a question that I have. We touched on this last week with our guest, Callie's Caves, and there's a couple of different, I guess, philosophies when it comes to making a game that's free to play or pay to play. Like you purchase a game and play it and you have it. What was your decision-making process deciding to make the game $4.99, which I think I like paying money for games personally because I don't like being bombarded to have to pay more and more and more whenever I play a game. But what was your choice, I guess, making that?
So that's a really interesting question, actually, because we obviously wanted to make Tsuro available to as many people as possible so they could try it out, and we considered doing a free version of the app, but my personal, a couple of personal feelings is that if you don't design a game to be free to play from the beginning and integrate the kind of the monetization into the game, then your monetization will fail. And I didn't want to shoehorn some like wacky micropayment system for like undos or like buying extra stones as an in-app purchase into the game. And when we discussed this with CryoPay, we all agreed that like Tsuro is the actual board game is a premium board game, and so the app should reflect that. It should be a premium app. You buy it, you have the full experience, super nice. And we did a lot of research into the price, and with pretty much 90% of board game apps, they're about 15% of the price of the real board game on Amazon.
Really?
That's kind of where we settled at, yeah.
Wow.
There's, one of my favorite board game apps is Lords of Waterdeep, which is like this Dungeons and Dragons kind of strategy game. It sounds a lot nerdier than it actually is. But I was looking at that, and it's like $8. I was like, $8? That's ridiculous. And then I looked at it, oh, actually, the board game's really expensive as well. All right, I'll pick it up.
Awesome.
Do you plan on adding anything to the game, or is it always going? Is this the final rendition?
I can neither confirm nor deny additions at this time. What I can tell you is there were a lot of things that we left out
Okay.
that we would have liked to have done. So.
Yeah. But we are a tiny, tiny, tiny little studio.
How many of you are working on it?
So there are 3 people at Thunderbox. There's Val, who's our awesome PR manager.
Who we love immensely.
Yeah, she's amazing. There is Jules.
Hello.
Who is the producer, who keeps everything running smoothly. And then there's me, who sits in a dark room making everything.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
I mean, I think it is like when I take a bit of a step back from it, because it is literally Dan in our spare room coding and creating, and Dan is
banging the Tibetan singing
bowls. I mean, and he is sort of like a bit like a mad professor. And
it's okay. I thought you were going to say something else.
Yeah, no. And I mean, our house is programmed, so we actually have a house AI. So I mean, these are the sort of things that it's like living with. Yeah, his name is Jarvis. It's like living with a mad professor. So I sometimes have to try and rein that in, to say, you know what, we have a time limit on this as well. But Calliope were super awesome about that, in that they were, let's ship this game when you guys think that it's ready. And so there was a lot of testing, there was a lot of back and forth to do it as well. And then we're like, okay, we're ready.
Yeah, they were really clear. They said we don't want you to ship this game until it's really, really good.
How long did it take you guys to develop from start to finish?
2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
And also, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we were playing another game.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've set up a longest path game with everybody.
Oh, this is the wrong game. It seems like a lot of the developers that I've talked to, it seems like 2 years is like pretty much the standard for how long it takes to make a good mobile game.
Well, it depends massively on the type of game. So, like, I used to work at Square Enix Montreal, where they did Hitman Go and Hitman Sniper and Lara Croft Go, all of which are fantastic mobile games, and the team there is super sharp. But like they've got a similar kind of approach where they want to put out nothing but the best quality. So their production time is not kind of like an exact science.
Yeah. And I mean, we come from the AAA game development world. I mean, we've both been working in games. I think between us, there's about 20, 25 years of experience. And we've worked at a lot of different studios and sort of budgets of tens of millions of dollars and huge development teams as well. You know, so it's very hard to say, okay, yeah, you know, it's going to take 2 years or it's going to take 3 years until you really understand what it is that you want to try and create.
Wow.
I would have preferred to be able to do it quicker though.
Yes.
2 years is a bit intense.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you've already answered this question, but Lone Star wants to know what coding software did you use to make a mobile game like this?
We used Unity.
Unity. Oh, like 3D, 4D, that kind of thing.
Unity is super cool. So there are a couple of good things about Unity. First of all, you can get it for free. If you want to publish, you actually have to pay for it. So there's that. But you can learn Unity for free, and you can actually make mobile games and produce stuff very, very cheaply. Secondly, if you need any kind of crazy functionality, there's loads and loads of plugins that you can just purchase for a very reasonable price. So all of the wiggly wobbly parts done by a plugin called Curvy, which is made by a company called Fluffy Underpants.
What?
Chemical.
Awesome.
So guys, we're talking to Thunderbox, the creators of the Tsuro app, which is based off of a board game. It is $5 in the App Store for Apple, and it will be coming to Google Play very, very soon. Whatever.
As heard earlier.
In less than a month.
Ooh.
Less than a month.
Oh, that's really soon, actually.
That'll be a worldwide launch as well.
I've been playing it on my Nexus.
Nice.
Nice.
So very soon.
And that'll be a worldwide launch as well.
Yes, globally. But so the nice thing about Unity is it works on iOS, it works on Android, and if you need to learn how to do anything, you just Google how to do this on Unity, and there it is. Oh, Jules Morgan, you tried your first move. I'm going to put you into the corner for that.
You guys can't see what just happened, but they just Jules chose the same
I have it up on the screen.
spot right next to. Oh, they could see it. Okay, cool.
Put you in the corner, Morgan.
So all those little dashes that you see, you can start on any one of those, which means that you can start right next to somebody, which can very easily mess up the other person's strategy.
I should have put an achievement in for that.
Yeah.
Troll face.
Oh, that would be great. I got an achievement for picking the same thing and going in the same place for like 10 things in a row or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
It likes it when you're consistent.
I'm a very consistent person when it comes to this game.
Yeah, it's good to be consistent. Dependable.
If I can go straight, I'm going to go straight. If I can pick blue, I'm going to pick blue.
Yeah, we were fighting over
We
the
actually got another question here. We got, what does a day in the life of you guys look like? Work. Haha.
Yeah. It is. Get up, work, sleep.
Yeah.
That's good.
So we do kind of the app stuff as a passion project. So we both work as full-time video game developers in our real life.
Real life, yeah.
By day we're video game developers, but by night also video game developers. I'll get up usually at 6 in the morning. I'll work for a couple of hours on Tsuro. Then I'll go into work and work on the top secret project that I can't talk about. Then I'll come home. We'll have dinner. I'll work on Tsuro again, and then I'll go to sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go out and party though.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard work, and I think when people talk about, oh well, you make video games, you must spend all day doing nothing but play video games. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes that's my day. But you know what? It's hard work. It's and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business.
But it's also a passion though. When you mix business with passion,
but no,
it becomes really quite intense. Yeah. And you're making a product where you want to bring joy to a lot of people. You don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
That goes the same with streamers too, though, because everybody thinks that like we don't do anything.
Oh
and
my
they're
gosh.
like, you just play games, and like, well, yeah, we're playing games, but there's so much other stuff. It's fun. I enjoy my job. I'm sorry if you don't, but it's not by any means easy just because it sounds like, yeah, I play games all day.
It takes years of practice to be this wacky.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sort of
so much fine tuning.
Before you cut me off.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Joe.
You know what it is like coming home. Like this is something that we both feel very, very passionately about, and you know that was it. We want to create an experience that can be shared with your friends and with your family. I mean, we've led a somewhat nomadic existence in over the last few decades actually, I think I lived in the UK for 10 years. I lived in Vancouver. Now we're in Montreal.
Vancouver!
Yay!
So you know, we've got a lot of friends, and so we were playing oh God, what's that game we were playing with John over Skype? He'd be in Skype.
Gauntlet.
We were playing Gauntlet with a friend
yeah.
of ours. We were here.
Yeah, the new Gauntlet is ace.
He was in the UK. But even with Tsuro, I was playing a game the first weekend with my best friend who lives in Australia and my other best friend who lives in the UK. And so it is also so that social element of it as well. Mm-hmm. We can create something social and fun and exciting as well.
That's awesome. So what are your goals with Tsuro? Or just game development in general? I guess you're the indie side.
So
what are your goals?
Well, that's an interesting question. So with Tsuro, like we wanted to share something that we really enjoyed personally with everyone and kind of use our kind of superpowers for good. If that makes any sense. So, like, video games to kind of bring this like awesome little project. And with Thunderbox, what we want to do is take more kind of really cult board games that most people probably haven't heard of, and give them a broader audience. On one hand, it's so like everyone can play them, fun, but on the other hand, it's so the publishers and makers of these kind of cult games can get a little more exposure and get more people to actually play their board games.
For sure.
So what board game out there would you say, besides the amazing Tsuro, which is an awesome game that we can all agree is awesome, but aside from that, what board game do you think should be on mobile that isn't yet?
Oh,
that's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
I would think so. I don't know if I can say, because we might, if we tip somebody off, they might go and make a board game of it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm looking. I've got my board game collection on the shelf up there.
So what are some of your favorite board games? So maybe one that you wouldn't make into an app or whatever, but what are some of the other games that you like to play?
So I can tell you what are board games on iOS and Android that I'm playing. So I'm playing Card Crawl, which is like a very kind of tough, again, like Dungeons and Dragons-y solitaire game. I'm also playing Lords of Waterdeep. Again, there's a theme here. I mean, I am a massive Dungeons and Dragons nerd, aren't I? But I'm also playing. I also really enjoy Elder Signs Omens, which is this wacky kind of Lovecraftian horror card game. So that's super cool. And Galaxy Truckers.
Yeah.
Galaxy Truckers is one of my favourite board games, and it returned app last year, and it gave me very mixed emotions, because on one hand I was like, oh, Galaxy Truckers on my iPad, but on the other hand it's like, oh, I wanted to do that.
So would you say that board games are like your favorite genre of gaming?
On iPad?
In general, like what are your favorite types of games to play?
I like video. If we're talking video games, I love FPS and classic kind of role-playing games.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a Fallout widow at the moment. God.
Yes, so am I. Air high five.
Dan is also sort of kind of an amazing cosplayer as well.
What?
So he's got some amazing a vault suit that he did a couple years.
Yeah,
a couple years back.
I did vault suit. I did Adam Jensen for Deus Ex.
Yeah.
I did.
What? We should have made you cosplay for this interview. That's awesome.
Brothers. And I did the ARC Trooper from
the new Deus Ex game.
Mankind Divided before the character had even been released.
Yeah. So it's sometimes good to know the people working on
I should have got my mask.
on the game. Yeah. I'm a huge role playing game as well. I've been a long-term Dragon Age fan.
So
oh my god, you love Dragon Age.
So when Inquisition came out, I feel like I was vindicated for Dragon Age 2, which I actually really loved. So, but I mean, we haven't really had a lot of chance to play a lot
Get
of
into
games.
Dragon Age. They
Yeah.
tricked me into playing another Neverwinter Nights game.
Yeah, we
Oh
could.
no, it's my turn. Oh no, it's my turn. Oh gosh, I can't die again.
Waiting for
Yeah.
Brizzle.
Before we started the stream, all of us were talking and playing a little bit, and I learned that Jules takes a really long time to take her turns, and Brizzle is now copying Jules. So
It's
I
I
think
always take a long time, Ricky. You know this. In every game we play together, it's like, Brizzle, it's your turn. I'm like, oh, hey!
No, she's very quiet. She'll sit in the corner really quietly, and everyone will overlook her, and then she'll come out of nowhere and absolutely destroy everyone.
That's what happened when we played on my stream on Friday.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So, yes, you are
My,
terrifying.
it's my small world technique. We used to play with a group of friends, and everybody was trash talking one another.
Yeah.
And I tend to encourage that.
Yes, you did.
You pit your enemies against them.
You're like, oh, he's tricky. He's sneaky. We'll get him.
Yeah, talking, and then out of nowhere, you come in and you're like, bang.
It hurts so bad.
Brizzle, you know we're playing Longest Path, right?
Are we? I know. I had no.
Pretty
other
sure you
things
just took
to
the
do.
shortest.
I did indeed. That was the only one that wouldn't kill me. So
Am I
what
doing
you
the
gonna
trash
do?
talking thing right? I'm trying.
I just get defensive and
Good
scared.
job.
But also, I think with Sarah, a lot of it is luck as well. That you can have all this different strategy, but if you don't get the pieces you need, you're kind of. And if you mess up a play, you can't always come back
But
from that.
yeah, but if you look at the tiles, this is one of the things that I noticed too late to put into the AI. But if I ever do an update with an ultra deadly AI,
No.
tiles have various levels of versatility. So if you look at the tile that Yuma started on, that you can only play that one way. It's the same whichever way you play it.
Hmm.
So that's not a particularly versatile tile. Whereas if you look at the tile in the bottom left, there are only two ways that you can play that. Whereas if you look at the tile that
How many
I
can
just played, it's different every way that you play it. So there's
Mm.
loads of weird little strategy, and you can lock people off into sections of the board as well. It's like, yes, oh, Jules, what have you done? You're making it easy for me to destroy you.
No, I'm not.
What are you up to?
I'm terrified right now.
Oh,
Like, you guys are in my head. Ugh.
You know, it's true. When
I do
when
that.
I go to sleep, when I shut my eyes, I do actually see Tsuro in
Mhm.
my brain.
Wow.
Right, have some of this, Morganism.
Oh, right.
I've been having that lately too. I close my eyes and I have nightmares of my wife wrecking me in this game every time we play. So
That's horrifying.
Yeah, as long as you don't have a dream that you're being chased by this massive orange stone. You're terrifying.
what did you guys do before you made games?
Oh,
I was a professional makeup artist.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
and I did marketing for Sony PlayStation.
I mean, you guys are
Oh,
so
wow.
cool.
Yeah.
You guys are so cool.
You have a fromagerie down the street. You've got, like, a butcher who tries to sell you $50 string.
Yeah,
You guys make awesome video games and stuff. You got a secret project that you had to kill us.
yes.
You told us about.
And I'm
Yeah.
sitting here, I'm like, I used to work at Best Buy.
I
Oh,
worked at Best Buy too.
I wear a hot dog costume. That's all I've got going for me.
I mean, that's pretty cool though.
that's cool. But no, I think we've both had. Well, I had a very eclectic
Ready for this,
career.
Brandon? Check this out, mofo.
Oh my gosh, she called me a
Move!
mofo.
How'd you like that for? Yeah. Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So I mean,
Oh,
you know, I worked.
Nice.
I was a professional makeup artist, and then moved away, and then started working at The Guardian, and then in the UK, and then moved back to Vancouver and needed a job in media, but couldn't find a job in media, so I worked in investment banking,
you're quite posh.
and then ended up working at EA, and it was sort of this really cool curve that got me there because every job that I had done taught me how to handle people. I mean, investment bankers are kind of the worst. So like, you've got all these sort of crazy type A personalities.
Yeah.
And then,
Amazon
hold on
stuff.
a second, I've got to make my move.
Uh-oh.
I
But,
told you
know,
she
and
takes a
then
long time.
working.
Move could be
You're
here all
so
night.
cheeky.
Cheer for me in the chat. Yes, cheer for me.
Working as a makeup artist, I learned how to work with creative people and kind of how to channel that. And then, working at The Guardian, I worked with the most insanely clever people. And it was at the time where blogging and podcasts were really starting to take off. So I had this really interesting mix of the sort of new media and really, really clever people.
Got new and you.
And then, no, cheeky. And then, you work in games, and you've got this, these teams of these people who probably should never be put in a room together, and they're told to go and make a game.
They're probably watching this.
Yeah, no, I love them. I mean, you've got programmers and writers and artists and audio engineers, and every single one of them has their own producers. I mean, producers are insane, man. You have all these very different personalities, and you're like, hey, make something creative. Yeah, okay.
My first job was like sticking stickers on stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Well, yeah, it is when you're not being chased by the police.
Yeah.
Oh.
But,
Why were you being chased by the
because
police?
it's illegal to stick stickers on stuff. Because I was working for a really small marketing agency. Before I worked in PlayStation, I was like a street marketing agency.
Oh, jeez.
And we get paid. We were to stick. One of my first jobs was working on Half-Life, sticking Black Mesa stickers all over London.
All right.
Getting chased by the police.
Wow. You're exciting.
I'm dangerous to know. I am.
You are.
I'll stick
Look
a sticker
at
on
that.
you.
Yeah.
It
I
is
like
getting
stickers.
close to 9 o'clock, so we are going to do our giveaway.
What?
And Brizzle is the person who has to do this again.
Because I'm amazing at
So
it.
we're going to have you guys spam something in chat, and Brizzle's going to take a screenshot, and that is going to be who wins. But before we do that, I want to thank you guys for hanging out and talking with us.
Thank you ever so much for inviting us. It's been our pleasure.
Yeah.
The game is super fun. I'm super happy that we found it. I wouldn't have found it if it wasn't for the interview, so I'm really happy we found it. It's very good.
You guys are having fun.
Okay, guys, spam the word like.
The nicest thing.
Spam and you can also hit the like button. That will also count.
Nice. That will give you extra entries.
Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, thingamabobber. Okay.
Thingamabobber.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
now
really
she has
good
to
at
go and find it.
It's my go.
That's my face.
Okay, let's see. Who's the winner? Okay, so Squid on Quack
Nice.
is the first name that I could read. Squid on Quack. I don't know if you can see on my screen or whatever, but there it is. It's not rigged. Legit. This is real life. Squid on Quack.
Congratulations, dude.
Congratulations, Mr. Quack.
You can
And
send
for
me
all of you
your-
guys who did not win, you should go and buy it for $4.99. It's totally worth it. Super fun.
Totally worth.
Please.
You can play online with Facebook friends, or you can play locally with all of the people around. I think up to 8 people.
Yes, up to 8 people online or locally. And if you don't have any mates, you can play against the AI.
Yeah.
So basically, if you have a sad life and no one to play with,
But also,
they're taking care of that for you.
You can mix it up and play AI and real friends as well.
Yeah.
I actually did that.
Did you?
Yeah, with Shin.
Did you like it?
We played like 8 players with just 2 players.
Oh my god.
Well, it's a very different game with 2 players and 8 players because stuff gets real pretty fast with 8 players.
We tried having it so we had 4 tiles each, and then whoever, like, I had black, white, silver, and I think blue, and then he had the warm colors, and then whoever had a tile left in the end was the one who won.
That's very
So,
confusing.
I had like 4 tiles by the time he had 1 left, and then all of mine died all of a sudden. And then
Oh, that's super cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm going to end this Google Hangout, and I'm going to go back to the game so we can play for a few minutes. But I want them to be able to hear the in-game sounds because they couldn't hear it before.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys. Bye.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right, they can probably still hear you, but I need to go to the game.
Okay.
All right, they can still hear you. There you go. There we go. Now, this is the in-game music, guys. I'm going to leave this up for a few, and thank you all for joining. We appreciate it. We'll see you next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have a guest lined up. If you want to know who it is, you can go to our Discord, check out our Twitter. We'll post it all there. So thank you, guys. We all love you. See you.
you